Welcome back, dear students. In past few sessions, we have seen what is the principle of gas chromatography, what is the basic instrumentation of gas chromatography, different types of columns used. Now we are moving towards the important part of instrumentation of gas chromatography, that is detector. So detectors play an important role in detection of analytes in gas chromatography because whole idea of analyzing the sample will be wasted if the analyte is not detected precisely and accurately. So the detector plays a vital role in whole analysis process. It detects sample components or analytes on the basis of their physicochemical properties. And detectors of gas chromatography are one of the reason and key strength why the researchers prefer this technique over other forms of chromatography. The detectors generate an electronic signal, thereby generating the chromatogram. So carrier gases used in gas chromatography are transparent to most of the GC detectors. Therefore, their background levels and interferences is quite low. So as the sample gas stream comes out from the column, the detector monitors the separated components of the gaseous sample and signals are interpreted after data acquisition. So there are different types of detectors available. However, choosing amongst one of them is mainly based on the application for which it is being used. Again, it also depends on chemistry of the analyte, then sensitivity and whether qualitative or quantitative data is required. So depending on the signal they produce in response to an eluting solute, there are different types of GC detectors. So the basic types of GC detectors are: the detector may be univariate, that means it produces single signal, or it can be multivariate, that it produces multiple signals. So this is the basic classification based on how the signals are being produced. So the basic classification is univariate and multivariate. Again, depending upon the ability to detect various compounds, again the GC detectors are classified in main two types. One is the universal detector and the selective detectors. So moving towards so there may be a question in our mind that what are the ideal characteristics of the detector that is used in GC. So you can think of whatever uh, the experimental parameters we are using, typically the temperature and other characteristics. We have to think of what might be the ideal characteristics of the detector that is used in GC. So here are some of the characteristics enlisted you can find. So detector must have adequate sensitivity. Now the sensitivity means the minimum amount of sample it is being detected accurately by the detector. So that is the sensitivity of the detector. So the detector must be adequately sensitive. Good stability and reproducibility in terms of higher temperatures are being used. So the detector must be stable enough to withstand the higher temperatures. Reproducibility means multiply, if we are injecting the same kind of sample, we should get the reproducibility of the results. Then linear response to solute that extends over several orders of magnitude means, like we have seen in case of Beers-Lambert's law of UV, that as the concentration increases, the response or the absorbance is proportional to the concentration. In the same fashion, in case of GC detector, we must get a linear response. And also obviously the operating temperature range, that is from room temperature to at least 400 degree Celsius. Then short response time, which is independent of the flow rate of the carrier gas system. High reliability and ease of use. Then similarity in response towards all solutes or a highly selective response towards one or more classes of solute, dependent on what type of detector we are using. And again, one of the important characteristic required is the non-destructive of sample. So any detection system which fulfills all these parameters can be used in the gas chromatographic detection system. So here we have some important detection systems or gas chromatographic detectors like flame ionization detector, thermal conductivity detector, electron capture detector, mass spectrometer, thermionic detector, electrolytic conductivity cell detector, photoionization detector and FTIR or Fourier transform infrared spectrophotometer. Some of these detectors are universal detectors, like we can say FTIR, mass spectrometer detector, or thermal conductivity detector. So these are the detectors which are almost applicable to all the kind of samples. But we have some detectors which are typically selective towards certain kind of compounds. Like take an example of electron capture detector. It is typically giving sensitive signals towards halogenated compounds or those compounds which contain some electronegative groups. Again, in case of thermionic detector, it is most sensitive and selective towards the compounds that contains nitrogen and phosphorus. So all the gas chromatographic detectors broadly we can classify as the universal detectors and selective detectors. Now one by one we will see the different kind of detectors that are used in gas chromatography. So in the first place we will see the most important and widely used detection system, that is flame ionization detector. Now flame ionization detector is a leading universal detector in gas chromatography and is a univariate detector. So it has some distinctive properties like unit carbon response and wide linear operating range. Now this puts forward the rest of general use detectors in gas chromatography than the flame ionization detector. Apart from this, the positive points of flame ionization detector are the low cost, ease of use, speed of response and ruggedness. The only major disadvantage associated with the flame ionization detector system is it is destructive of the sample. Now, in case of flame ionization detector, the effluent that is coming from the column is mixed with hydrogen and air and then it is ignited electrically. So, most of the organic compounds when they comes in contact with such a higher temperature, they get pyrolyzed or they get broken down in the hydrogen air flame and produces ions and electrons. Now, these ions and electrons can conduct electricity through the flame and this leads to giving the response in the detection system. Now in FID, it does not require any standards for quantification. The accuracy of the detector is high as this detector gives unit response for most of the hydrocarbons. So it is also called as the mass sensitive detector rather than the concentration sensitive detector. So FID is it allows the researchers to quantify components in mixtures without having calibration standards, and it can be easily used where we need the fast and linear response. FID is exceptionally useful when analyzing complex samples like that of the petroleum industries where the samples may have well more than 1000 components. So you can see because the petroleum products, these are mainly the hydrocarbon mixtures and flame ionization detector is very easily used in petroleum industries. So if you look at the principle of working of this flame ionization detector, we can find the effluent that exits the GC column. Here you can find the exit end of the column. So the effluent that exits the GC column enters the FID detector's oven and the oven assures that as soon as the effluent exits the GC column, it does not deposit on the interface between the column and the detector. If deposition occurs, it will result in loss of effluent, thereby causing errors in detection. So we must avoid any deposition of the column effluents or the exits from the column into this column oven. So again the temperature must be maintained. So as the effluent migrates up the detector, it initially gets mixed up with the hydrogen gas and later on with the oxidant. So you can see here air is coming up. So air is acting as an oxidant and there is a hydrogen gas. So the effluent from the column is mixed with these two components and this oxidant mixture continues to migrate towards the head of the nozzle where a positive biased voltage exists. So we have the collector or the two electrodes which causes this positive biased voltage. Now by pyrolyzing the effluent from the with the help of the flame, the reduced carbon ions are created. So here in this passage, so the Eluent which is coming out of the column through the help of this flame gets pyrolyzed and get converted into ions, and the positive bias repels the reduced carbon ions towards the collector plates. So which in turn is connected to a very sensitive ammeter. So ammeter detects the ions hitting the plates and feeds the signal to an amplifier, then integrates it and display. So finally we are getting the response in terms of the current that is flowing through the this positive biased voltage system, and which is proportional to the amount of sample that is being pyrolyzed or is converted into ions. So this is how the flame ionization detector works. So a potential of few hundred volts is applied between these two electrode plates and the resulting current is then measured. So the basic advantage of flame ionization detection system is it is highly sensitive, larger linear response range and low noise levels. So we have higher signal to noise ratios obtained in case of FID. And the major disadvantage is it is destructive of sample. So we may have a question that is there any detector which will not disturb the sample? So if we think of this, we have a solution that is known as the thermal conductivity detector or a catharometer. So the thermal conductivity detector is very early detector in gas chromatography, and it is still finding wider application in the field of gas chromatographic technique. So in case of thermal conductivity detector or a catharometer, we have a sensing element like a Wheatstone bridge we have. So that sensitive element is kept at a constant temperature, at constant electric power, and this temperature of this filament or the heated element depends on the thermal conductivity of the surrounding gas. So this heated element may be made up of platinum, gold or tungsten wire, or even a semi-conducting thermistor. So we can find here the diagrammatic representation of this thermal conductivity detector. So we have R3 and R4. These are the two cells. One is representing column flow, that is anything that is coming out of the column is moving towards the filament R3, and the reference flow, that is the carrier gas, once it is exiting the before entering the column, we have another pathway for the reference flow of the carrier gas system. So it will act as a reference flow. So R3 and R4, when nothing is coming out of the column, are at the same temperatures. So R3 and R4 will be at same temperature when nothing is coming out of the column. So Wheatstone bridge is like balanced. But once something is coming out of the column, when the column effluent contains any analyte, then the thermal conductivity of the gas changes. That leads to change in temperature of the filament. Now this change in temperature of the filament will be taken up as the signal. So when the clean carrier gas passes over both of the R3 and R4 systems, then we are getting a constant voltage or current applied within the circuit, or the balanced current or voltage between the opposite legs of the bridge, so that we can monitor. So as soon as something is coming out of the column, so that will cause the fluctuations into the temperature due to change in thermal conductivity of the carrier gas system, and this change is then observed as a signal. So here the sample is not getting destructed. So even we can have two thermal conductivity detection systems simultaneously. So if we have two columns present in thermal conductivity apparatus, we can have the dual detection system, or dual TCD analysis is possible. So in case of the TCD, it is the universal detector, and it is basically based on the ability of the molecule to conduct the heat. So carrier gases like hydrogen or helium or neon or methane, these have some thermal conductivity, standard thermal conductivity values. So as the eluted solute passes over the detector sample filament, temperature rises, and this change is observed as a signal. So rest of the detectors we will see in upcoming videos. Thank you so much, dear students.